Welcome to this activation video. We are going to activate your most loving self-love timeline. So, a time, a place, a period in your life where you have the deepest relationship with yourself. So, this is not going to be a tarot prediction reading or anything. This is going to be an activation reading. So, we're going to tap into the timeline where you are experiencing your most loving relationship with yourself. And we're going to see what messages, guides, and your spirit team have for you in order to make that a reality in this moment, right? So, this is going to be a timeless activation video. This will reach you when you're supposed to watch this. Always trust your intuition first, right? All the important links are going to be in the description, and let me know in the comments how you find this video. Already pulled some cards for you. I'm going to use multiple decks, starting with the classical tarot deck. And the very first card I pulled is the King of Pentacles. This is somebody who has already achieved a lot in life. So if you're watching this, I'm going to assume you're not a 3-year-old kid. It's not that you're starting your life. You have already lived some part of your life. You have already achieved it. So the very first step before we do anything else is to look at, okay, what is the treasure I already hold? What are the resources? What is the achievements I already have? And it could be difficult sometimes to do that when we are living in a timeline, when we have a behavior of not acknowledging how good life has been in the past. So we're going to start there. You need to sit with yourself. You need to maybe make a to-do list, or like not a to-do list, do some journaling of what is it that I have already achieved. In what ways am I already a king of resources? That does not mean you're not under debt, or that does not mean like, oh, but what if my reality is not very good? That's all right. That's why the next two cards are so important. So the Knight of Cups, you see, the Knight is bringing um, cup, some resource, some maybe money, maybe help. But this person is just like looking at, okay, but I have two less. He's not noticing I'm receiving more. So he's not acknowledging like I'm receiving more, but this cup is coming to. So what this basically means is when you spend a little time noticing that, oh, I have already received a lot in life, it's going to help you see that more help is coming, more support, resources, more love is on the way. Because what's happening is the reason we complain and judge and belittle ourselves a lot, the reason we do all of that to ourselves is because we are too busy noticing all the shortcomings that we have rather than looking at, okay, but I have also done this great thing in life. I have also done this act of kindness. I've also done this act of service. So rather than looking at the goodness that I already carry for myself, that I've already done in the past, rather than looking at evidence of all the good things I've done, we usually spend time looking at, okay, but I've also messed up here. I also did some wrong things here. I've also messed up here and there and there and there. So, what if you invest your time in noticing all the amazing stuff you have already done for yourself or for others, maybe? Because one way of really, really loving yourself is loving others. And the way to really love others is by loving yourself. It goes hand in hand. Um, and the next cards I have for you is Lightseer's Tarot. And you see the person just enjoying their moment, having some fun, maybe drumming, maybe enjoying music. So, doing something that you enjoy doing. So, one of the reasons we fall into that trap of, self hatred or self judgments is when we are not. When life becomes a little boring, that's also the meaning of this card. Another meaning of this card, when life becomes a little too boring, like we are not noticing how we used to have so much fun in the past. So the the reflective question is, what is it that you enjoy doing in life? Is it a sport? Is it playing a sport, watching a sport? Is it going to mountains, going to beaches? Is it travel? It doesn't need to include money. It doesn't need to be like a paid activity. It could be anything. Could, for example, I know there is this local lake here where I live, and I love going there. I have loved going there for the last like now a decade. It's been a decade since I moved in this city, and it's like a second home to me. So whenever I'm like feeling this like bored and like like this body language, I know I need to go there. It just gives me that energy. Like going closer to nature helps me. What helps you come back to your energy? In fact, I just went to the lake 3 hours before, now before recording this video. So I know I feel energized when I go there. What energizes you? Is it a person, a mentor, a course, a book, a TV show? Is it some really good food? What energizes you? Ask yourself that. And time to release all the stress you have been taking. You see, the person is like literally, oh my God, like that's the body language of this person. So, how can you release the need, the behavior of being in stress? One of the reasons we feel so much self judgment is we don't break the pattern. So, how do you break the pattern? How do you see the truth? How do you see the truth that you have always received support and you will continue receiving support? How do you see the truth? How do you open your eyes to the truth that I have always tried my best to receive and share love, even though I have been betrayed, even though I have not had very much success in that? Maybe I have had some issues in my relationship, my dating life, my family, my career, my whatever that is. What if you bring your awareness to, okay, let me see all the good things, kind things I have done for myself and for others? It's just that everything we do in this life is to receive and share more love. And often, when we are not present, when we are not grounded, we do that in very unloving ways. That's just the truth. So, how can you open your eyes to see your own truth? How can you open your eyes to see who I really am? And what is the reason I don't love myself that deeply? What do I expect from myself? What have I always been wanting from myself? How have I betrayed myself all these years? And doing all that introspection in a very loving, gentle, kind way, not in a judgmental way, not like, oh, how stupid I have always been. No, in a very neutral or rather loving way, in a very gentle, compassionate way, like you are reparenting yourself. That's how you activate your most loving um, self love relationship timeline. That's how you activate the timeline where you have the deepest relationship with yourself. Now, that does not mean, okay, I become too relaxed, I don't do anything, I become passive in life. No, still do whatever you want to do, but you're not doing it from a self judgmental place. You're going ahead with a self loving, self compassionate um, vibe, self compassionate energy, right? Um, so I pulled some more cards. So this is the Healing Waters deck, and it says life lessons, ride the waves. It says life lessons and growth. You will get through this. So having a belief that because in the past I have come to this place, noticing and acknowledging, okay, all the difficult times I have had, looking for evidence. Why and what have I all survived so far? And then you'll notice there is an automatic belief that will come in you that will have you believe that I'll get through this. I just need one of the questions I love asking myself is, okay, what am I supposed to learn through this? What am I supposed to learn through this? And when I do that, rather than looking at, oh, but why did I fail? Why did I even try? What was I thinking? Did I not know better? So all the ways we like attack ourselves, they go away, because then it becomes a lot objective, a lot compassionately objective. Okay, what am I supposed to learn here? Okay, I made a mistake. What was I supposed to learn here? What am I supposed to do differently next time? That's how you're going to deeply connect with your inner self, by not attacking yourself and cleansing your. So, what I get from this card is you need to learn some energetic cleansing. You need to release the old, and this is the time for new beginning. If you're watching this video, it's like you really want to have a more loving relationship with yourself. And for that to happen, you need to release the past um, unloving that you have done, right? You need to release the past energy and beliefs and thoughts you're carrying. So maybe you can look out for some Reiki cleansing, some energetic healing. You can work with a coach, you can work with a mentor, you can get like reading like this, you can get a private reading, whatever you need to do. But focus on your healing process. Focus on cleansing where you are right now, because you know, okay, this, whatever I'm experiencing right now in my life, is not what I want to experience down the line again and again and again. So you need to have a different energy inside of you, right? So I call it spiritual hygiene. So you need to learn to do some spiritual hygiene every day. The way you clean your body, you need to clean your energy as well every day. It could be 5 minute meditation. It could be like a 5 minute journaling, just writing 2 pages every day. It could be listening to uh, like videos like this. It could be going through therapy, coaching, or working with a healer week after week, whatever you need to do. But prioritize your healing. Prioritize releasing all the old ways that you don't want to carry forward. So maybe spending a little time on, okay, what am I leaving here in this minute? What do I not want to carry forward? And you'll notice when you make yourself your own priority, it's gonna just go away. It says become your own priority. So, in what ways have you been sabotaging yourself, compromising yourself, sacrificing yourself? In what ways do you do that for others? Oh, but what if I just do this? I'll make others happy. Others will not be disappointed. Others will not complain. In what ways you're doing that? What if, and I ask this very radical kind of question to all of my clients, what if your only job in this world is to make yourself happy? What if your only job in this world is to make yourself happy? Of course, you don't want to hurt others. Of course, not at the cost of others. Of course, not by harming others. But what if your only job in this world is to make yourself a little more happy? When you become happier, people around you will have two choices. Either they can open their eyes and see that, oh, maybe happiness is a choice. Maybe I can also be just happy. Maybe I can also just take out time and do stuff that will make me happy, right? Or the second option they will have is, oh, but I only have this, I lack this, I lack that, I don't have enough. So they can stay the same, or they can open their eyes and learn. But you being happier will bring the change in this world. You learning how to become more happier by yourself, more loving to yourself, is going to change the world one day at a time, one step at a time. Um, Stop pushing and striving. So, how can I stop trying to force myself to do stuff that compromises me? How do I stop pushing? How do I stop trying to force myself to become lovable to others? Because it's needy, right? And needy is like creepy. So, what if your only job is to align your life to your most loving self? It's a beautiful card. This is your Second last message, align your life. So, what needs to be released? What is not aligned in your life right now? So, maybe taking a minute to make a list of all the things that you feel like I want to be different in my life. I don't want the way I talk to my, for example, I don't want to keep talking in this negative way to my sister. I don't want to be complaining so much to my wife. I don't want to be complaining so much to my parents, like whatever. What are the things that are not aligned in your life? I want more love in my marriage. I want more intimate time with my husband. I want more love with my kids. I want more presence with my partner. What do you deeply desire in your heart that you want to create in your life? Just taking a moment to write it down. That brings so much change. And this is the final message. How can you make this come true? How can you be a part of your most loving self relationship timeline, right? The ever unfolding rose cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. So, what this means is think about rose. When you put it in the ground, it's just a seed and it just starts like, coming out of the ground. There's just a little bud and eventually takes a little time to grow. Then eventually you have a rose, right? At no point you start scolding it like, oh, just a seed, it's not a rose yet. Oh, but it's just a bud. There is not even a flower yet. It's not a rose. No, it's rose from the time it's a seed to the time you actually pick it out. So, what if you can be compassionate with yourself for being an imperfect version of who you really want to be? Because being in your most loving timeline, most self loving timeline, does not mean you're not going to make mistakes. You're going to still make mistakes. The difference is you're going to accept that, oh, you know what? I think I was maybe like 89% self loving today. I did judge myself. That's all right. I forgive myself for that. I release that um, self judgment. I don't need to carry it with me. I forgive myself for that. So, what if you accept yourself for the imperfect version that you are? Because life is happening for you, not to you. So, ask yourself, what am I supposed to learn through this? And how can I be more loving and gentle with myself? Where else do I judge myself? Where else I complain about myself? Where else I scold myself and not listen to what I really want? Where else am I sacrificing myself for others? And how do I be present with this desire? How do I make this desire a reality that I want to be my most self loving person I have ever been? How do I become more gentle and compassionate with myself? I hope this reading was useful for you. Let me know what resonates with you. The comment section is always there, and all the links are in the description. I'll see you soon in the next one. Take care.